When boxers get into accidents in the ring, it can actually be fatal. Some incidents lead to a boxer taking so much damage that it can be permanent, and in some cases, they can actually die from their injuries. Recently, Teofimo Lopez was nearly killed because of a boxing accident. But what really happened? Well, stay tuned because today we're going to cover the doctor says Teofimo Lopez is lucky he's not dead, and some other boxing news. First up, we have doctor says Teofimo Lopez is lucky he's not dead. Over the past few months, it seems that Teofimo Lopez has actually been risking his life in the boxing ring. According to doctors, he should have actually been in a hospital bed rather than fighting in the boxing ring. When he lost his most recent match against George Kambosos, doctors examined and reviewed the fighter and realized that he should have been in the hospital because of something really important happening within his body. He could have died for sure. Dr. Linda Dahl, an ENT with surgical privileges at 3 Manhattan hospitals, told ESPN how he breathed. I can't even explain to you. It's like somebody tied a 300-pound set of weights around his chest, like his neck and chest were in a vise. That's how he fought. He's lucky he's not dead, Dr. Peter Constantino, executive director at the New York Head and Neck Institute, told ESPN. I mean, really lucky. The fighter was then diagnosed with pneumomediastinum in the emergency room. It's crazy to think he really had no clue that this was going to be on inside of him. He was boxing his heart out and didn't realize that he could have died if he went unchecked. Thank God that doctors have to examine fighters after each fight nowadays. Otherwise, he could have lost a really important boxer right now. And next up, what else was said about this situation? You'd think something would have alerted the fighter that this was going on, right? Well, actually, it was normal for him to not really notice much at the start. The air was surrounding his chest wall and his heart and his neck, places where air is not supposed to be, said Dahl, who worked as a ringside physician for the New York State Athletic Commission. If he was hit in the neck or the chest a certain way in a certain place, he could have developed a pneumothoracic, collapsed lung. He would have instantly been down and unable to breathe and needing a chest tube. It seems like the cause of this air was actually a tear in the fighter's esophagus, which was caused due to his long-time asthma and a case of COVID back in June of this year. He was actually experiencing short of breath before the fight, but didn't say anything because he thought nothing of it. I thought it was just my asthma, Lopez told ESPN when asked why he didn't divulge his symptoms to his manager or the athletic commission during his pre-fight examination on Friday. I fought through asthma before. If I told everybody, they would have canceled the fight, but I chose not to because of the amount of pressure I was under. I didn't want to hear people say, oh, another postponement. When you hear this reasoning behind not really thinking anything of it, it actually makes a lot of sense. He would think it was just his asthma going off, but in reality, it was something much, much worse. Thank God Lopez is going to be okay. This could have been awful. And now on to some boxing news. Next, we have Dereck Chisora says Tyson Fury was a cheating bee. Dereck Chisora is still clearly very annoyed about his 2 losses to Tyson Fury back in 2011 and 2014. Ever since then, Tyson Fury has shot into stardom and become the heavyweight champion of the world and become an insanely popular boxing celebrity. He's transcended the medium and become a British icon and someone that basically everyone has at least heard of around the UK and even around the world. Even since the original 2 fights, we have seen Chisora claim that Tyson Fury was cheating, that he deserves the wins for those matches. Chisora is really fighting for his career right now as he's about to rematch Joseph Parker at the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. If he ends up losing this fight, the boxing career he has right now is basically over. No one will really want to fight him anymore and he's surely going to fall out of fame. No one really cares about his fights with Fury anymore as they're more focused on the Fury of today, who's much different than the Fury of 2011 and 2014. Chisora is clearly trying to hang on to the past and get something out of his older matches. The Tyson I boxed at that time was a cheating bee, basically. I call him a bee for that time, but the Tyson now, he's a cool guy. I like him, said Dereck Chisora to DAZN. Maybe just because he's a billionaire, he's a millionaire now. The old broke Tyson is a bee. He's a cheating bee. That's between me and him, anyway. He knows what he did, and I don't like it, said Chisora. He clearly has a grudge against Fury, but can you blame him? He was destroyed in the ring by Fury twice and still can't let go of these cheating allegations. When will he ever change? It's probably best for his career to be over it at this point. Now we have Vidal Riley to break away from YouTuber boxing, including Jake Paul, who is not a serious boxer. If you don't know already, Vidal Riley is an up-and-coming professional boxer from the UK who is also known for his being a part of the original YouTube boxing scene. He was the one who trained KSI for his fights against Logan Paul and Joe Weller. He was also involved in training other YouTube boxers at the time, and this is the main reason they're into boxing to this day. He's recently stated he will be finally taking strides into the world of professional boxing as he finally got someone to sign him. Riley is also involved with things like Jake Paul, as he has knowledge about these YouTube boxers that no one else really does. Ben Shalom is the man promoting Vidal Riley right now, and he has said a lot about Riley's future and some accolades with current boxer Jake Paul. He's trying his best to get away from it. Riley's promoter Shalom said about YouTube boxing, "Jake's a good fighter in terms of the background he is from, but he's not a serious boxer. There are levels to boxing. Vidal has boxed all his life, boxed for Team GB, and is a real talent. He wants to break away from these comparisons and be considered a great boxer in his own right, which will happen in time." Vidal Riley is also currently undefeated in his 4 professional fights and has already fought in Las Vegas twice. The great thing for Vidal is that he has the best of both worlds, Shalom said, but in his eyes, he wants to avoid the comparisons and look towards the serious guys around the world in the cruiserweight division like Richard Rayaport or Lawrence Oakley. One day he hopes to be up there with them. Shalom clearly has a bright future in mind for Vidal Riley, and everyone should as well. Riley has the skills and the prowess to become an amazing boxer, and he's someone very important to this new era of boxing, even if he doesn't get the recognition for it. Without him, you wouldn't have had KSI versus Logan Paul 1 or 2, or even Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Without Riley, none of these fighters would have gotten their chance in the spotlight. He really paved the way for everyone in this new side of the field. And finally, we have Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley rematch is on. We were all ready for the match between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury on December 15th, but things clearly went wrong. Tommy pulled out of the fight due to injury and illness, but most think that he pulled out because he's scared of Jake Paul. Regardless of the situation, Jake needs a new opponent. One has finally been confirmed, and 3 days later, on the 18th of December, Tyron Woodley will get his rematch against Jake Paul. Finally, this fight is still really hype because everyone wants to see Jake Paul finally fall onto the canvas. So far, throughout Jake Paul's boxing career, the only person to get him close to falling down was Tyron Woodley. Woodley failed in his mission to take down Paul in their last match because he was too passive in the match. Tyron Woodley is known for being aggressive and hunting down his opponent. If he brings that to this next boxing match, he has a great chance of taking down Paul. And that's the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comment section below. It'd be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye.